Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining me today for Stay Free with Russell Brand. It's Monday, no one can deny that. And the same challenges and themes that we've always been dealing with, we deal with yet. A corrupt and hypocritical world devoid of resources to change things. We've got to do something, though. We've got to do something. Do you remember when I sang that? You may not have done, because it was a sort of, in a sense, a B-side for a fictional character. But here's a look at it now.
Lately, Mother Earth has been feeling unsatisfied. I'd say it's plain from the rain, the sweet lady has started to cry. Fires crackle and blaze in the rays of her burning heart, and I don't think it's smart to lay and wait for the day that she dies in our arms. We gotta do something. We gotta do something. Before Mother Earth gets any more hurt, we gotta do something.
Dave joins us in the studio. Dave, you okay?
I'm doing good.
Good, I'm glad. Yeah, I feel pretty good, actually. I've just been finishing this book. Writing, not reading. I'm one of the few people that's actually written more books than I've read. That's from this thing called Garth Marenghi, like a British comedy show. And he's like, pleased when he says that. Like, that's a good thing to have written more books than you've read. That's a terrible thing to say. Jake Smith's with us. You right, Jake?
Oh, yeah.
You feeling okay? Peaceful? What's the matter? You feel like you might be getting ill?
I think I got it.
Yeah, my wife's shit, and I'm going to England, or I've been to England, depending on what day this is, and it's not convenient for my wife to be ill. Nikki, I really think that my wife should get an IV, but, you know, she's reluctant to get an IV, and because I'm a person who always, even in marriage, insists on consent, I wouldn't impose that IV on her. So what should we do?
Patches. I'll give her some blue.
I got, that's what,
Do you think
she got me.
It's a sticker.
A sticker?
Yeah, this
Easy,
patch.
Easy.
The sticker's not going to do anything.
I don't know what it does.
No one knows.
Dialed by 300 to 400%.
It just sounds. Give me one. I'll take one.
Well,
If it's a sticker, I mean, what have you got to lose? I'll smother my whole body in them. I'll be covered in them.
It seems to be that it has different
What's next? Pogs.
The sticker.
lives.
Pogs.
No, like the sickness. Like
What do you think about it?
Bella got it, Allie got it. They're still on the edge.
Yeah.
And then they're still like, Bella threw up today. So that's new.
Better second youngest child, yeah.
And then I've had these
8.
crazy headaches.
9.
Monday, Tuesday. Now I'm feeling, I haven't got the aches.
My wife's been getting them headaches ever since I married her, actually. Is it a coincidence? Who's to say? Thank you for that, Nurse Nikki. I think she should have a, what do you call it, one Myers cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are people always on about things I don't understand? Here, what's your Enneagram? Want a Myers-Briggs test? What is everyone on about? What is everyone on about? What are you all on about? Let me know in the comments and chat what you're on about. Join us on Rumble if you're watching us anywhere other than Rumble, and get Rumble Premium. Hey, if you're a big Rumble fan, is post-government Bongino somehow tainted? I love Bongino. I loved him before, I love him during, I love him after. But I get the idea that some people don't like that Bongino was in the government and then left the government. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about the Bongino army. Did it compromise them? What do you think about any great hero and noble voice once they go into politics? Secretary Kennedy there, has he been stifled by government? And I love Bobby Kennedy. Is it possible that anyone who goes into the belly of that foul beast will be tainted and contaminated by it because of all the compromises they have to make and all the people they have to negotiate with, and you realise what it's like once you're in there? Like the sword of Damocles is the idea. The sword of Damocles. You know about the sword of Damocles, Jake? No. Sword of Damocles. Yep, sword of Damocles. You know about the sword of Damocles, Joe?
I don't. Tell me all about it.
I'm going to tell you about it now. What about you, Massey? Do you know about it? Do they have that in Iran?
They had it on The Simpsons. Mr. Burns said it about Homer when he gave him his job back, remember?
Excellent. It'll be like the sword of Damocles. I mean, I don't know that episode, but I'll just quickly, in case people don't know what the sword of Damocles is. The sword of Damocles is a king or adjudicator who has to make decisions, is sitting underneath a kind of portcullis or atrium, and above his head, unseen by the people he communicates with, hangs a sword. They don't know that sword's hanging above his head. Only he can see it. But if ever he messes up or makes an error, the sword hangs by a fine thread and bam!
I do know that. I didn't know the name.
That's the sword of Damocles.
That's awesome.
Do you know about the Gordian knot? Yeah, everyone knows it now. I've just said it on the internet. I've said it on the internet. Anyway, so my point about the sword of Damocles was that once you're in a position of power, you're subjected to and exposed to levels of control, authority and power you didn't know about at all until that point. That is why, to meaningfully change the world, you have to change the system itself. Why are we pretending we live in a world where digital democracy is not an option, where we couldn't use the same technology they're using, facial recognition technology, digital ID, or technologies of that type, to have direct participatory democracy? For example, if you were talking about the Mayor of London, if you want ULEZ cameras, vote and have ULEZ cameras. If you want to lose ULEZ cameras, those are those cameras that film cars as they're coming into London and people get a surcharge or additional charge. This amounts to a car tax, really, on the auspices of protecting climate change. You know how the deal works by now. You'd have to say, if you're going to get rid of the ULEZ cameras, you will have to generate the £220 million per annum that the ULEZ cameras generate. You could get that through unique levies for planning permission, for construction. There's a whole variety of ways of doing it. The point is this. The reason Mamdani is mayor of New York right now is because people are sick and tired of the system. The people of New York would have seen Donald Trump get elected, a populist, a popular leader who's clearly in a bunch of pathological ways, I'd say, outside of the system. And nevertheless, here they still are. The Epstein files, the wars, Pfizer's still powerful, big oligarchical tech figures are still powerful, and you don't want that anymore, do you? None of us do. That's the Bongino effect. Bongino went out, he went into the system, he was subject to the sword of Damocles, as is Bobby Kennedy, anyone who goes into that situation, and they deal with compromises that we on our side can't see. Well, that's not their fault then, and by definition it means the system itself is incapable of delivering the change that is required. In fact, any system that could deliver change wouldn't be the system the people that are powerful are what would want, because that system would not preserve their power, and that is their absolute priority. You understand the Kissinger report, don't you? You know what the Kissinger report was. In the Kissinger report, Henry Kissinger, the famous diplomat and aide to various presidents of your great nation, revealed that there were countries, among them Puerto Rico and the Philippines, that had to reduce their populations in so much that those territories were regarded as potential resources for America down the line. You can read this now. Put the Kissinger report in Google. Read it now. The idea being that America needs the resources of Puerto Rico or the Philippines and doesn't want their population to grow at an aggressive rate, because then they'd need their, inverted commas, their own resources for themselves. What strikes me as remarkable about that is it indicates immediately to you that projects take place that go beyond the term limits of any individual, even double term, president. Any 4-year term or any 8-year term is superseded by the revelations of something like the Kissinger report or Manifest Destiny more broadly, or the great American project that led to the Iraqi, Afghanistan, Iranian wars and the North Korea conflict. What I'm telling you plainly is something you already know, that real power is not in the Republican administration or the Democrat administration, but in the systems itself. That's before we leap into the mad, bizarre occultism revealed by the Epstein files. It's just generally and plainly obvious. If you want to change those systems, you can't do it through the channels and conduits of those systems. You either need to have armed revolutions and organised resistance at the level of militia. That's not possible in a country like the United Kingdom or the United States, where you've got serious, proper, professional armies. So you have to organise in a way that uses technology and communication to bypass, disrupt and unsettle their power. This is possible. It's sort of, in some ways, inevitable, and we are at the beginning of the fight for how information is used to manage power. My argument to you is this. Do you believe that the pandemic was possibly always about population control always along, as revealed in the Kissinger report? Do you recognise that there's a trend, technologies and ideas that are piloted abroad by colonial and imperial powers, whether it's in Iraq or Afghanistan by the British and Americans, whether it's the 77th Brigade, a PSYOPs unit, this is real, you can look at this, run by Mark Lancaster, husband of Caroline Dinenage, that was set up to deal with problems in the Middle East, but then was ultimately in COVID used to control domestic information problems, what they call misinformation. If these problems are beyond the remit and reach of government, government, if government are just engaged in the brokerage of handling populations on behalf of real power, then we, the people that are being controlled by them, have to unite in new ways and propose ourselves new systems of government. And here's one I'm proposing: direct democracy, using the technology that means that everything from X to Grok to Polymarket to ChatGPT can operate to aggregate our electoral will, to have true mandates. If you want to have a state where there's abortion, have a state where there's abortion. If you don't. If you want taxes, have taxes. If you want low, high, whatever it is you want, direct democracy always must be the principle. Participation, not mandated, but possible and optional, using these very devices and unique codes that show that you are a registered voter in that community. This could happen everywhere overnight, and we have to start pushing for it. It doesn't matter if it's me that does it or you that does it, because it's the idea that's important, not the thing itself. You want ideas and principles that withstand the test of time. Jesus Christ is access to eternity. He sees and offers eternity in the present moment. Through principles like love and kindness and service, you are no longer engaged in the temporal. But what if I lose everything? What if I get a headache? What if my trousers fall down? These are all just the problems of the day, at scale, en masse, reiterated, repeated endlessly. Access eternity, use democracy diligently, use the available technology to change the world. That's just what I think, though. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Could such a thing be possible? Stay tuned for announcements. Stay tuned to participate in a global holy endeavor. Remember, you can watch all of our content here on Rumble, and if you get Rumble Premium, you get even more of the stuff. And if you want to move at this pace daily, try Methylene Blue Baby, because it certainly lubes up my neurological pathways. Soon I will be appearing at this very place, Florida, Panhandle, Santa Rosa Beach, telling the story of how I came to Christ Jesus. Come there, meet me, and if you want to, try your level best. No, I'm not going to urge. We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. But I'm telling you now, there are. Like, I was amazed when I saw that armed sheriff there and special forces operatives. I've never felt more special in all my life. I've never felt more important and special in all my born days. It was certainly an enjoyable experience. In fact, why take my word for it? Here's a moment of it now. Anyone have some little questions or whatever? Because I'm pretty happy.
I have a question.
Oh, shit. I heard both that I do and I heard the oh shit. So now, firstly, I want to give the microphone to the gentleman, first of all. Not in a sexist way, but just to provide context. Thank you, Jake.
Really, you should not give it.
I'll hold the mic.
Do not listen to him.
Oh, wow, I can see she's in charge of him. She's in charge of him. Right.
100%.
Fuck she is.
Oh, no, sorry. Listen, right, you're in a happy marriage, head, neck, all that. All right, go.
My question to you is, you never said the day that you found Christ.
Jane asked a very sensible question that probably is... Pardon, ma'am?
The Jays are in charge.
The Jays are in charge. But there's only one Jay we can truly trust. Beat that, Bad Bunny. In the middle of them hedges. Lurking in the privets. There you go. Come see me. There's a link in the description. It's it's on in Florida somewhere. Okay, you absolute mad, beautiful, gorgeous lunatics. It's time now for us to discuss. Well, there's two things. One is a documentary where his name is Harrison H. Smith. Explains how, in his view, Israeli special interests and financial interests control American politics. That's one. Dave, you keen to discuss that and then walk around the streets, walk around free? What about you, Jake? Want to discuss how Harrison H. Smith believes that Israeli political interests control... I mean, he's had a lot of views on X. In fact, I noticed one of the things he complained about, let me know how you feel about this if you're a content creator yourself, is that he didn't generate very much revenue from it. Let's have a little look at it, because there's that. And then there's Mickey Willis's excellent film about... it's called Free Joby, about the dude that set up Bitcoin. Not set up Bitcoin, was an early adopter to Bitcoin, then got put under house arrest and for a bunch of real dodgy stuff, and he's still under house arrest right now, when simply the crime was The crime, I think, was people going, wait a minute, this guy's worked out Bitcoin too quickly. No, hold on. If everyone starts using cryptocurrencies, we're in a lot of trouble. Shit. Start arresting people. Then we'll work out what they did wrong later. We'll work it out later. Just start putting people under house arrest. And I think this Joby dude is one of the first people that happened to. Either way, we're going to be watching both of these bits of content over the next couple of shows. Let's have a quick look so that you can participate. Well, you won't be able to comment in chat because actually this is pre-taped. But, join in anyway because, let's face it, even if this was live, we'd probably ignore you. So no. But I mean, in a way, like, does the government pay any attention to you? I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna vote. There you go. I'll just put my X on there. That's my signiggy wig shirt. There it is. There's my signiggy wig shirt. Now then, carry on doing what you were gonna do anyway. But I'll tell you, I better see someone wearing a different colored tie. Is someone gonna wear a different colored tie? Nah, that's democracy. There's that sweet democracy. That tie color's changed good and true. Let's have a quick look at, firstly, at Harrison H. Smith's documentary, where I think he's sort of talking about AIPAC and various lobbying interests and their control over American politics. Let's have a quick look at this.
I think there's another revolution coming. I tend to steer it along with the achievement of a broader peace. When history is within reach.
So what Israel is fighting here is not merely a seven-front war, but an eighth-front war.
It's called the Jews against Rome.
Rome and Jerusalem clashed over values with a great tragedy for the Jewish people.
So we lost that. We have to win the next one.
But the new Rome, the United States,
Jews against Rome.
We stopped playing defense and have moved to offense.
The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well.
But we need the kind of genius that manufactured Apollo gold pagers and infiltrated Hezbollah for over a decade to prepare for this battle.
But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media.
Because the next war will be decided based on how Israel and its allies perform online as much as offline.
this is the eighth front, the disinformation campaign.
It is actually this eighth front where our enemies believe they can actually defeat the Jewish state.
This is the kind of ingenuity and inventiveness that have always been a hallmark of the state of Israel, that have always been a characteristic of the Jewish people. I know we can do it.
A lot of this is done with money.
Invested billions and billions of dollars in the information battlefield.
Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster.
We prohibit harmful stereotypes about Jewish people, such as claims that Jews control financial, political, or media institutions.
You're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them.
We monitor them online, social media, messaging apps, video games, cryptocurrency.
Hitler admirers, Stalin admirers, Jew haters.
Podcasts, short form video, Wikipedia, LLM.
American haters, Churchill haters.
We monitor these people and we share the intelligence with the FBI.
You think your stupid little podcast is going to change the world like hell it is?
Social media, this is the new battlefield.
You don't get to wrap your psychotic, mental, unhinged Nazi.
We do not allow Holocaust denial and distortion.
There you go, lots to think about there in that. So there's that one. We could watch that. That's Israel and whether or not Israel. Massey, what do you think about that? Look at Massey grinning, all happy. What do you think,
Anything which is super controversial that people are going to get upset about, which you're not allowed to talk about, I'm up for talking about.
You like
so
that
I'm
kind
happy to
of
watch that. I love it. Yeah, I shy away from any shit. If an entire group of people can get upset by something anybody says, I'm all for it, because I don't think you should be able to paint a big button on your back like that and then be angry when other people press it.
What are they saying? Like, what was that?
They're saying that there's an eighth front, an information war that Israel are fighting to ensure that increasingly they limit the ability to speak freely about Israel's actions, in particular in Gaza, and Israel's potential lobbying and financial interests in US politics. So the kind of stuff, I suppose, that you've seen Tucker Carlson talk about and Candace talk about, but sort of, I guess it's a combination of the political power here in the United States and political influence here in the United States and the means via which that might be practiced, coupled, I suppose, from looking at the images, with the desecration in Gaza and death in that region, and whether or not Israel and Israeli interests are able to limit, prohibit and censor conversation around those subjects through a variety of means. I guess that's what Harrison H. Smith is discussing, it looks like.
Does it seem that controversial?
I suppose not. I guess the only counter-argument is does everyone do stuff like that? I mean, look, what people say is that, well, Israel's just another country just doing things that countries do. Didn't America conquer all of this land from the native folks? Didn't the settle a lot of colonies is what they call it? And of course the Israeli claim is there's a historic and indeed religious connection between their people and that land ordained by God. And what I suppose the contemporary challenge is to be able to say, well, if you believe in God and you believe in God's word, do you believe that land is specifically given to the Jewish people by God, which is certainly a claim that's made in the Pentateuch? And if you do believe that, do you believe that the current Israeli government are the kind of carriers and vessel of that ideology? And is Israel a secular country, or is Israel, by definition, a religious country? The same as, I guess, Saudi Arabia or Muslim countries. I suppose, we in the West, United Kingdom, United States, we're meant to be secular countries, that we've decoupled our religious ideology from our political ideology. In a sense, it's impossible because all ideologies are ultimately religious ideologies discussed. Anyway, so I guess what it comes down to with Israel is, are you able to talk about Israel the same way that I would talk about any country? The government are corrupt. The government don't truly represent the people of that nation. The government have their own interests. The government are likely connected to a bunch of international agencies and institutions that manage power. I think you should be able to make that claim and then afterwards go, I was talking about Qatar, I was talking about France, I was talking about America, I was talking about England. I guess because of what's been happening in Gaza, people are right now making unique claims about Israel, and then people that sort of do this job for a living, like defend Israel, like Ben Shapiro say, would go, well, they started it, or some version of they started it, and then we're in it. Now we're in it now. We're in that conversation, and it's a conversation that never, ever, ever ends. And I think from a Christian perspective, will only end when the Jewish people convert to Christianity and accept Jesus Christ as their saviour, and that the branch is grafted back onto the tree, I think is how it's described in here. And I'm a Christian, so I believe what's in there.
You had some good conversations about those topics with Dinesh D'Souza.
Yes, we did, didn't we? In fact, have a look at that. Yeah, have a look at this conversation with Dinesh D'Souza.
I do often consider the way that our Lord addresses his chosen people throughout the books of the Old Testament. And it seems to me that he's pretty overall peeved, miffed, irked by the conduct of the Israelites. And I wonder how one might interpret Yahweh's relationship with his chosen people, his disappointment, even with the Nazarene Samson there, like how we might look at God's relationship with his chosen people, and how we might be able to perhaps find common ground in this endless and detestable conflagration in that region, which seems to do nothing but divide. And yet somehow don't we have to participate in finding a solution, a conclusion, a truce, a peace?
We absolutely do. Let's begin with God's relationship with the Israelites. And you also referred to the way that Jesus, for example, looks at the Jewish environment of his own time. And you'd have to say that the relationship is troubled, is perhaps putting it mildly. It is acerbic, confrontational, at times denunciatory, on both sides, by the way. The Israelites abandoned God. They started worshiping the idols. And it happens again and again and again. I have to say, as someone who is a student of different cultures, Russell, in just about every other culture and religious tradition, the religious and sacred books are very triumphalist. The heroes are great. They never do anything wrong. All the bad stuff is suppressed. The Bible is so unusual in the sense that if you remove God from it, you would think that anti-Semites wrote it, right? By that I mean that the heroes of the Bible are almost all of them highly suspect characters. Abraham is passing off his wife as his sister. David is engaged not just in adultery, but in effect murder by sending Bathsheba's husband to the front line. So these are hardly, on the face of it, admirable figures. Jesus could not have been more tempestuous about the religious authorities of his day. And yet, I think the strange thing about the Bible is that you get the sense that the covenant is held together not on the human side so much as on the divine side. That God is always saying, and yet I'm not giving up. And, I want to destroy the earth, and yet I'm going to get Noah into the boat. I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, but hey, the Israelites, you're still my people. So you've got this very strange, fraught, antagonistic relationship, and it has to be interpreted both on the spiritual side and on you could call it the earthly side.
Okay, so let us know what you think. What should we do about Israel? What should we do about it? What should we do about the conflict in the Middle East? Let me know in the comments and chat, would you? Would you be so kind just to let me know in the comments and chat? I don't mind either way, said myself. I don't really mind. I'm not fussed. I'm a bit nonplussed. I'm going to just approach it like my own nan would. Oh, well. Although actually, thinking about it, she was a bit racist, so she's probably not the best example. Okay, let's have a look at the old Free Joby documentary. I don't know much about this thing. Actually, before we do that, why don't you enjoy yourself by looking at Larry King. Gareth sent me this from the UK. Gareth, who we worked with a lot on this show over the years. Have a look at Larry. Have a look at Norm Macdonald on Larry King. This is for me pure comedy. Can you guys hear it? Can you hear it? You can't hear the clips, darling. The reason I love Norm Macdonald here is Norm Macdonald, like all great comedians, is observing comedy above and beyond all else. And it's really lovely to see this interaction with Larry King, because Larry King's in a position where he sort of has to be congenially serious, is how I describe it. It's a very lovely moment. Check it out.
What's something people don't know about you?
I'm a deeply closeted gay guy.
No kidding.
Well, I'm not coming out, though.
Wait a minute. What are you revealing here today?
I'm not revealing anything. I'm saying I'm deeply closeted.
Well, that means you're gay.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Why would I say that? I'm deeply closeted.
No, but that means you're very, very gay, but you don't want to come out. You're so closeted
that I refuse to say I'm gay.
Right.
Exactly.
But doesn't that mean you're gay?
Hey, easy, buddy.
That's good. Hey, easy, buddy. You got Larry King in it with him. That's when it's really lovely, is when someone else has to get into the boat with Norm Macdonald, that twinkle-eyed comic genius lunatic that he was. Oh, God rest his eternal soul. That's fantastic. Oh no, tax! I don't want to give you no tax, you filthy, wretched government. You have to, otherwise we'll put you in jail. We'll find a reason. Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled returns? Or have you filed every year but still keep owing? Isn't it annoying? It's not fair, is it? It's simply not fair. We need a revolution. Till then, though, did you retire and suddenly get hit with a tax bill you didn't expect? Near the anus. Are you a business owner with messy books and a balance you cannot afford? Near the anus. Maybe you pulled money from your 401k or IRA early and now the IRS want their share. I'm sick of them guys. However your tax issue started, the outcome is the same. Fear, fretfulness, anxiety, impending gloom, a cloud following around like Pigpen. Remember him? Your balance is not going down. Penalties grow, interest compounds, and many of you are about to owe again for this upcoming tax year with no plan in place. That's how they want it. They tyrannize you like that. Remember, they print money and all that kind of stuff, don't they? They're out of control, man. Stop what you're doing and call Tax Network USA. Stop what you're doing. Stop it. Actually, I'm doing CPR. Finish that. But then call Tax Network USA. I'm Alex Honnold. I'm hanging off that big tower in Taipei. Finish that. Then call Tax Network USA. I'm a pervert. I've got my finger embedded it. Right, yeah, you stop that. You call Tax Network. Actually, you should call a line for perverts. Then call Tax Network in. But it's generally speaking, in most situations, it's a priority. Unless you're Alex Honnold, or you're doing CPR, or you're that pervert. Call Tax Network USA right now. The IRS ain't waiting. The IRS enforcing collections through wage garnishments, bank levies and property seizures. They can even file for you without your consent. This is where Tax Network USA comes in. With over 15 years in business, there hasn't been a tax case they haven't seen or resolved. They specialize in tax controversies and help taxpayers nationwide get back on track by resolving back taxes and unfiled returns once and for all. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, their team has resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. They can do the same for you. Call them now. They're offering a free investigation call with the IRS. After that investigation, they put a clear case plan in place. That's what I want from my accountants, actually, in order to resolve your tax problem and get you back on track. This is about using your legal rights to take control before the government sets the term for you. Ugh, the government. Do not wait for another IRS letter or a frozen bank account. Call 1-800-958-1000. That's 1-800-958-1000. Or visit tnusa.com/brand or click the link below. There's a link down there. You sick animals. I don't mean literally under the desk. That's my reproductive organs. I mean on the screen. Tax Network USA. Stop what you're doing. Hey, hold on a minute. Isn't there some gay banter going on down the food bank where our friend Scooter runs his thing? What's it called? What does Scooter call his thing? Oh, well, let's post a link in the chat. It's hard to remember things. It's like after his grandma's name, and it's like Rosita's Secret. It's called something like that. I don't want to sound like an underwear brand, but it's something like Rosita's Secret. I can't remember. Dave, you're supposed to know. You're better friends with him than I am.
What's something people don't know?
No, not you again, Larry, although I do love you. Want a cuddle?
Oh, he always loves a cuddle.
Yes. You know, the Jewish people not only hug each other, they dance together.
Jewish men dance together. I mean, we're Christian.
I feel like church here would start dancing, the men with the men.
Yeah, I know. I went to Istanbul one time. Men held hands there.
Yes, sir.
Like just buddies, talking around.
They kiss each other on the cheek.
Should we try it?
And I can't fight this feeling anymore. I've forgotten what I started fighting for.
Men in these AA and NA programs for 40 years, when you give them a hug, a true hug, they feel set free from this world.
Because I think all of us are going around a little bit feeling like we're in deficit, in debt, broken, unworthy, not good enough. And a lot of I think a lot of the injuries come from other men.
Well, you see, God's right there.
Yeah.
I want to love God. You remember John, who did the baptizing or mikvah, he offered to the soldiers, don't abuse people, and to the priests, how it was that we are to, if you have an extra cloak, give your coat and your food.
And walk the extra mile.
Yeah, that's right. Jesus did the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing as John. And John's considered like the greatest of souls that ever was until his time.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? That's a lovely little exchange between me and him.
You've never kissed me like that.
Well, I will.
That's not true.
I always are kissing you like that. It's part of my game, man. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. Hey, so then, fellow gays, let's right. Have we worked out the problem of Israel yet? I think we've. Just let us know in the comments. What are we going to do? Is it going to be okay? Let's know what to do about the Israel there. Have they got too much influence in American politics? What are we going to do about it? I mean, what we'll say is, even in the good Old Testament, what I love, towards the end of Genesis, dear Joseph, he gets quite a lot of clout in Pharaoh's administration. He's running the thing, And what about Daniel? He's doing very well. I'd say them's good, honest Jewish prophets rising to prominence in foreign national governments. And I think it was helpful and it was okay. As long as you're completely following God, and God is good, and God is unity, and God is love, I don't think it matters, does it? Does it matter? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What are we going to do about it? What do we do, though? What a tricky old scenario we found ourselves in. All right. Okay, so we have a look at this thing then. Hey, if you're watching us on YouTube, What do you think you're doing over there on YouTube? Get over to Rumble, you sicko. You absolute sicko. If you're watching this on TikTok, how have you found this content? Because I've been on TikTok and it so heavily promotes amazing looking women, barely any clothes on. I think you're doing remarkably well not to be watching that, frankly, if that's your thing. And if you're watching it on X, you're right. It's depressing, isn't it? And if you're watching it on Facebook, hey, Granddad, I'm on the old time at Facebook. I went down to that Facebook. I got myself down Facebook Marketplace. If you're watching it on, that's it. That's all the ones I know. Instagram. It's for girls, isn't it? I don't know. I don't understand all the platforms anymore. Let's have a look at this bit of content here. This is interesting because it's by a documentary maker, the dude who made Plandemic, called Mickey Willis. And in this, he talks about an early Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adopter who had the police inexplicably arrest him. Very well made film. Let's have a little watch of it together and see if we can see evidence of government overreach and indeed the route out of the hell, the prison, the open jail that they're creating for us. We got to fight back. We got to do something.
You got to do something. We got to do something.
Extortion.
And the most important purchase.
What are we going to do about Israel, actually? No, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that next week. We've got to work out Israel. We've solved that, I thought. I thought we already solved Israel. Let's move on to Bitcoin.
Aloha, my name's Joby Weeks, and I've been stuck here on house arrest for 6 years, and you're probably wondering why. Me too.
Obadiah Weeks is accused of fraud in a cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme, bilking $750 million from victims, say investigators. The man had been running a business called Bit Club Network for the past 5 years, facing 25 years in prison for fraud and conspiracy charges.
I became an entrepreneur at a very young age. I started my own business, mowing lawns and shoveling snow, and helped a friend with the paper route. I'd go door knocking, selling magazine subscriptions. Any little way I could figure out how to make money when I'm like 10.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good. Oh, hey, buddy. Are your parents home?
So I was kind of brought up as a hustler, which I kind of had to be because being a Christian school teacher, my dad never made more than $20,000 a year, which isn't a lot for a family of 4. And that's how I got myself free. At 19, I'm a millionaire. I got a mansion on the lake, backyard's the beach, wakeboarding every day. And I took off.
We are loaded to Las Vegas, Hunter S. Thompson, here we come.
Road trip.
And back we go.
We're gonna race each other around the track. I wanted to see the world, so I went to 100 countries, 200 to 250 cities a year, every year for 15 years. Stayed anywhere for more than a week or two in 15 years. And so that's what I did, and I started finding all these cool disruptive technologies that I thought, wow, that's a good invention. This is great. I want to finance that. I brought a lot of technology back to the United States and launched companies. And
you don't need to own music to have music. 1.5 million songs.
If you remember back in the day, there was Napster. But Napster got shut down because it was centralized. So somebody invented this thing called the BitTorrent network, where you could download 5 minutes of movie on this computer, 5 minutes on that computer, 5 minutes on this computer. Yet I could get the entire movie, even though it wasn't in one location. And so somebody said, hey, you've seen the BitTorrent network on how you can download music and movies. Bitcoin is the currency that runs on the BitTorrent network. I instantly got it.
Now, the new currency is growing in popularity. It's even being called the future.
Bitcoin, this mysterious digital currency.
We're asking whether or not this currency really has any longevity, let alone legitimacy.
I'm not an expert in cryptocurrency, but I have my doubts about it.
When Bitcoin was coming out, nobody really knew what a Bitcoin was, but we already had a mint minting gold and silver coins, and so we thought, well, let's make a Bitcoin coin. So we designed the logo, and we put on the back side this private key so you could actually load a physical coin with crypto. And somebody said to me, well, Bitcoin is a golden egg, or you could buy the goose that lays golden eggs. And at the time, somebody had told me about this club called
BitClub Network is one of the fastest growing business models worldwide.
They're selling mining hardware, computer equipment. And I was like, interesting, that's exactly what I want to be doing. So I joined BitClub as a member. You can get literally a piece of every little transaction that takes place anywhere in the world. It's really exciting to think about. And I thought, if this works, this could be something huge. If a laptop computer would make $1 a day in Bitcoin, then what would happen if we filled an entire data center with 1 million laptop computers? We'd make $1 million a day, right? So that's what we decided to do. We set up a data center in Iceland, we got one in Georgia and one in Norway, we got some power out of Canada, we're building this one in Montana, which is going to be the largest Bitcoin mine in the world. It's 300 megawatts, it's monstrous. When you have machines that print money, that gives you the freedom to travel. Last year we did 152 countries, and what do? We talk about Bitcoin all the time, everywhere we go. That's what I basically did. I flew around doing these huge seminars and conferences and crypto events, and unfortunately became a target for hackers and thieves.
What's really ironic too is Joby was actually getting hacked by a nefarious character, and Joby was the one who actually brought it to the FBI.
I tracked the Bitcoin to a wallet with over $1 billion in it, and I give it to them on a silver platter, this dossier. I'm like, here's the hacker. And they're like, well, how do we say this? There's an investigation going on you.
And instead of going after the bad actor, they then flipped it and went after Joby instead.
So I fly to Washington, D.C. to the Ritz-Carlton to sit down with these agents. They just asked about an hour's worth of questions about BitClub. I showed them, yeah, these are what the data centers look like. It's a private membership association. They don't take dollars. It's just Bitcoin in, Bitcoin out. They're selling mining hardware, computer equipment. And so I think the investigation is over. 6 months goes by, and I get a phone call, and they're like, the government raided the data center, and they took everything. And I'm like, what? So I call up the agents, and I'm like, did you guys just raid the data center? You guys have my phone number. The agents are like, yeah, we have some more questions. I'm like, great. Do you guys want to meet me in West Palm Beach for this Tony Robbins conference? I got extra tickets. It was called Date with Destiny. See, I feel like I'm like cooperating with them. I reached out when I found out there was an investigation. I was like, come on down to West Palm. We'll do Tony Robbins together at lunchtime. We can chat about your investigation into BitClub or whatever you guys want. And so at the lunch break, I see him sitting there. I'm like, okay, I got some smoothies. I got tickets. Here we go. I sit down. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And all of a sudden, boom, I'm surrounded by agents on all sides of me. And then they take me to this unmarked building, and they're just interrogating me for 6 hours, trying to get me to give them all my Bitcoin. So I can't give you all my crypto. And so that got them a little bit irritated.
On December 5th, 2019, Mr. Weeks was indicted for selling unregistered securities and wire fraud.
They didn't actually say I sold unregistered securities. They said I was thinking about it. Because computer equipment isn't a security, it's a physical product. That's what I was selling. I was a vendor selling physical Bitcoin mining hardware. It's not a security. You can depreciate it.
The US government seemed to just have branded BitClub as a Ponzi scheme. And I can kind of sympathize, because at that time, Bitcoin didn't make any sense to me either, quite frankly. Most certainly, data mining operations to generate Bitcoin, like, this was really a new technology. It was a new concept.
They said there was no Bitcoin mining. And I'm like, no, here are the invoices. Here's the tracking numbers. Here's the $250,000 in duties and customs and tariffs I paid. Here's the data center. Here's the $10 million a month power bill. Here's everybody getting paid.
This was not a fraudulent exercise. They were actually generating millions of dollars and dispersing it to their club members.
BitClub was paying everybody out every single day until the day the government came and stole all the money. So who created the victims?
If there's people out there who say, hey, Joby Weeks hurt me financially.
Hey, this is pretty brilliant. Not only am I understanding Bitcoin in a way that I never have done before because of the way that he explained the decentralized nature of that bit streaming movie torrent, and I've understood the sort of connection between Napster and cryptocurrencies. And now it moves into an area that I do understand a bit. The government simply didn't understand something, so they criminalized it, even though he plainly has a total paper trail of no wrongdoing. All it really is entrepreneurialism and ingenuity in it, Dave.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, dude, he had all documentations, invoicing, and was paying out all the customers. It's not a pyramid scheme if you're paying out all the customers exactly what they're earning in their Bitcoin. What they were doing is just like leasing space in a data center that is mining Bitcoin. And so, however he has this thing set up of, well, the house gets 10% and you get 90 or whatever, and he pays it out.
Yeah, like all he really is